Hello everybody and welcome back to a tutorial. We're going to go over finance and state now. Finance, first thing first, when you start a game, just as locking these guys out of that, and you're going to want to click on his face. You're going to want to lock him out of bonds. You do not want bonds. And because he'll randomly pull it out, and this tactic that can help people that are new to the game out, I'm going to show you. And then you don't have to worry about all this. You can kind of let them handle social and taxes. Unless you really need money, then you just lock them out and then control it how you want. Oh, quickly. This is annual, which is like yearly, like every year. This is my surplus, and then daily, which is every single day. This is how much I'd gain into the treasury, so it would end up being like 58 billion and whatnot. But you can see here's social spending, taxes, bonds and loans. You can issue a new bond, income summary, expense report. This is all kind of self-explanatory, so I don't really have to go too much in depth about this. And then state tab, probably one of the most important tabs. You can see right here, and the first one, you can see the country, ourselves, or whether they're allied. You start out allied with Canada, the US, which is kind of funny, but you can see domestic approval, which is kind of dictates whether you'll get re-elected, or military rating, approval rating, which will dictate whether you can become a dictatorship, which this has to be 100% if you're going to become a dictatorship if you don't win the elections. So and you can get that to 100% real easy. You just gotta make sure that, like, a lot of countries will only have like maybe only 30% if they're getting taken over, and then ones that are taking them over may have like 70 or 80%, but if you like eliminate a whole country or taking them really fast, then it'll stay at 100%. This is kind of UN stuff. Obviously UN subsidy, like whether they'll provide you with industrial goods, you'll get messages here. The approval, they're delighted with me. Treaty integrity 100%. You can see your land, your capital, treasury. One thing about the capital, if you want to switch it, so say I want to switch it here to Jacksonville, you just click that, and then it'll switch once I start the game, but I'm not going to do that yet. And then you don't want to start the game right away. You want to keep it paused while you do certain things. You can see there's no immigration or emigrate. I don't know why immigration starts out, but immigration doesn't. But you can see literacy, how many people are literate in your country. Tourism, you can see that in other countries as well. So like how many people, I guess, can read and whatnot. So I don't know why 96%, 98%, jeez. Some of these countries are better than US. And then you can go here, conflict and support. You can see enemies, a list of enemies and allies of other countries. And then you can see trades. Now this is very important. Say you want to declare war on them, but you don't want your treaty integrity to go down. You click on this, click inside the country, click break all ties with region, and then confirm. I'm not going to do that. And then United Nations membership, your annual fee, which is yearly. I think it's kind of dumb. And then UN funds, how many members of the region, regional overview, and then religion. You don't really have to worry too much about this kind of stuff, but yeah. And then here, I would try and keep trade military units active, and then if you get bad ones, but you get offered good ones too with it, just scrap the bad ones or whatever. And then so let's go to operations now. Here you have your things such as counter retail, you can recon. So say I'm about to go to war with Mexico, I want to see what the units they have, you can click recon, whatnot, send them all around. And then espionage, I forgot what it's actually supposed to be, but it's in this, it seems like it's pretty much the same as recon. And then sabotage, say here's a barracks and I don't want them to have it, you just click sabotage. You can't exactly say which one you want, but it'll sabotage a random one. So yeah, and then you can go here to spending. It will say spy salaries and whatnot. Hotspots, don't use hotspots, they're useless, they're stupid. Satellite coverage, now this you can only use obviously if you have the technology and whatnot. So you can add satellites, and I'm not exactly sure what they do, but you can add them and build them, and then once one's done you can click this right here. Obviously there's no satellites available, but you can click launch, and or you can just click this right here and it'll add another one rather than going right here. And then missile defense, pretty much the same thing, not sure what it does. Yeah, facilities, intelligence academy, orbital launch pad, and then yeah, it goes over that again. So what else can I go over real quick in this part to make it not as short as the other one? Oh yeah, I can go over this. When you go to state, you can click on this, or I believe you can just press Control S, or just I forgot what it was. I forgot the hotkey for it. I don't know, but you can just go to state, regional summary, or wherever, and then you can click here. And then starting here, if you go, you can see the countries. It starts off in alphabetical order, but you can see provocation, the attack you, and the casus belli that they have, like whether it'll be approved or not by other countries. So here I have 69% war justification towards North Korea, and I have, and North Korea will attack me is really high. So and you can see domestic approval rating, and it shows all of them in order. If you just click on each one, and it'll always show yours here up at the top, so you can compare. And there's military approval, people with the biggest treasuries, debt, no one has any debt because I unchecked that, the highest GDPs, population, obviously China, India, then US, Indonesia, Brazil, Pakistan, shows all that. And then page 2 is probably the most important page. Shows, you don't really have to pay attention to this, but it shows technology level, obviously. Japan, France, Germany, United States, Switzerland, United Kingdom, Netherlands, Taiwan, and Italy, and everyone on here are the technological, like, world leaders. And actually all these, like New Zealand and up, should all be like a up 110 nowadays with Japan and all that. And it'll show here their DEFCON, which, speaking of DEFCON, I forgot to show you, you can change your DEFCON here and whatnot, and it'll change your spending. But let's go back to this. Show your unit kills, so who has the highest amount, who has the highest amount of losses, who has the highest amount of military casualties, who has the highest amount of land loss. If they lost land, it'll show negative. If they gain land, it'll just be yellow. But if they lost it, it'll be red and negative. And then here's the army size, which this is deployed army. Army used in fabrications, army used in units that are already deployed. And then here you can see build capacity of land, air, naval missiles. So 34 land, 27 air, 10 naval, 25 missile, as you can see here. And then you can go to your defense and you can click on spending, and this is your actual active staff and your reserves. And active staff is what it always shows here. Page 3, you don't really have to worry about these last 2 pages, but if you're bored and you want to look through it, you can see the kind of governments, territorial area, relations, blah 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 blah. This is all just kind of latest poll results. Oh, this is for elections, and this shows like your own country. So yeah, and then total score. You don't have to worry about score if there's complete, if you have completed on, which completed is literally taking over the whole world. So yeah, I've never actually done it. I've gotten close. I played as Thailand, and I conquered all of Asia, conquered Australia, all these Pacific islands, all of Europe, and almost all of Africa, and I was getting ready to start an invasion on Brazil and whatnot, and moving into the United States. But yeah, that took me a few days of playing, and so if yeah, so trying to think if there's any more I can explain. I think I went through these. Oh yeah, I was gonna explain production combined with everything else, like staying within. So this is kind of just a guessing game when you build. As countries like the United States, China, South Korea, Japan, Indonesia, really the biggest countries, you can just sit here, you can go build, and you can just spam just agriculture, just blah 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 if you want. I wouldn't do that. Building though, what you're going to want to look for, you want to press S, turn supply off, and you're going to want to look for the brightest red dots. So here, you can build all the way around. Here on the semi-dark ones, you can only build 4, and here you can only build 2. So you're going to want to try and find the ones that build all the way around. And make sure that when you build something, do this last out of everything else, such as locking ministers out of stuff and whatnot, so that you can start the game and see if you can continuously need to build more, because when you start the game it'll really show how much you're losing and all that. And so right now it says I need petroleum, so what I'm gonna want to do is I'm gonna want to go build, and I obviously know the spots. I know Texas has a lot of petroleum, you can see, so I'm gonna want to find the darkest colored areas, or the brightest, colored areas, and that's where I'm gonna want to build. And since I'm the US, I can build literally and fill in almost every single one of these if I wanted and not go into debt. No, I probably couldn't do that much, but as littler countries, you're gonna want to really base it off of population, depending on how much you can build. So like France, United Kingdom, Germany, and all that, they can't build as much and sit there and spam as the US and whatnot. But yeah, so just kind of make it off of common sense, kind of look at your production, build as you go, and if you start to go too much under in industrial goods, then you're gonna want to stop. And quickly, things like goods, consumer, industrial, military, you can build anywhere as shown by the green, except for obviously in the sea. It'll mark it off if you can't build there in red, and it'll show purple, and that's like recommended areas, I guess you'd say, because that's where stuff has already been built. So like build there, and then build some industrial here and whatnot, and just try and, because the more facilities you have, so I'm sitting here building like this, it's actually going to cost you more money than you're going to want if you're sitting here going like this. If you're just spamming all over, this is micro, you don't ever want to build micro, it's better just to build big ones. But it costs money not only to run and build this, but it also costs money to run and build this, and maintenance and all that. So you don't want to spam. You want to build industrial goods and all that as much as you can in things like cities, so that there's not any operating cost on the middle thing like there is here. Like you can see here, 2 million. Operating cost 1 million. And then condition 100%, and that's just like how repaired it is. So like if I were to go to bomb in this town, it would show the health and condition and whatnot. And then so yeah, you're gonna want to make sure you're not building too much, but you're gonna want to make sure. So say right now I need petroleum, coal, metal ore. I need a lot of coal. Since this is a big country, I can go and I can sit here and I can build just tons and tons of coal. Make sure that I'm staying within my industrial goods, but that's really hard to get out with the United States unless we literally built every single one of these coal spots. But yeah, you're not gonna want to do that. So it's kind of just learn as you go, and you'll be able to tell how much you can build based on the country. And yeah, so another thing real quick before I end this, land fabrications, all fabrications take military reserve personnel, and they take the most, even more than deploying actual units. So like, you can click here and you can build this whole thing, and it won't tell you. I don't know why I built that. It doesn't matter anyways. It'll tell you military staff. You can see here, it'll show in the town there's 500, but it's actually 500 in the barracks. It'll show you how many military staff are there for it to run, and let's find a actual military base. So here, land fabrication, 5,500. Naval takes the most. This takes 14,350, 14,000 missile, and air takes the same amount. Airfields takes the same amount. Barracks takes the same amount as that and whatnot, and then naval takes 10,000 each. So.
Gee, are you online?
No. Sorry about that. And thanks for interrupting my recording. But anyways, yeah, so that's pretty much production, and you can go filters here, I guess, and there's a few other small things that you want to play, that if you want you can play around with, that I haven't shown. I would mostly focus on using, oh yeah, speaking power. Unless you want to be completely clean and you don't want to use anything like other resources to build power, then use hydro, obviously. And then, but power coal gives off the most amounts for what it takes in, other than nuclear, but it's really hard to like get uranium and all that, so I wouldn't use it. And then I guess other power is really clean, but yeah, power coal best, because you can build just a few and get a whole lot, and then you can build a bunch of coal, and coal is usually in every single country. Like maybe microscopic countries like these obviously won't have any coal, but so that's pretty much the end of this one, and I will see you all in the next part, where I am going to show unit command and how to command a navy, land units, and all that. So